digital piano, which I played a couple weeks ago for you guys, and I'm not going to play it tonight, but we'll figure out a way to easily work it back in, do some working stuff on it. Anyhow, she's sitting at the extra computer screen over there, which is a mirror of the screen that I'm seeing here. We are running the show off of my newly built computer that you can't see behind me over here. This one is unlike the old one, which was kind of a glorified laptop and all the limitations there too. This one is a miniaturized desktop quality processor. It's much faster and is actually capable of running OBS. So we've achieved one goal. I have not had to run cords, 50-foot long cords up the wall and down the hallway upstairs into another room. And Amanda's not in a small oven of a room running the show. She's sitting in their dining room running the show. So it's going to be an interesting experience because we are working off the same computer, which means that when I'm playing, in order for my page turner and everything to work, she can't do anything. So some of the stuff that she might normally do behind the scenes, like getting applause tracks ready, that kind of thing, there might be a little bit of a delay or hiccup there because she's going to have to know that I am done and all that, and then she can take over the computer again while I'm doing what I do best, which is blabbing. So, let's see who is in the chat.
They said they can't hear you.
They can't hear me? Oh no. Yeah, the mixer and everything's working. Let's see.
It says it is on.
Okay, let's see if they can.
Oh, it says now they can.
Now they can.
We did not change a thing.
Okay, we didn't, so you guys can hear me now, right? We didn't change anything. We don't know what was going on. This is the joy of OBS. This is why it is so amazing to have a guru like Sam available, so we can send him messages and go periodically, as Amanda was doing this afternoon, because yeah, there are initial setup problems, let's say.
Although I have heard that your voice might be low. Your voice mic, can you turn that up?
I can. Where's the gain? I'll turn up the level.
Because they were like, oh, the music was loud, and I was like, well, it was almost off. So.
Okay, tell you what. How's that for the vocal mic? Is that better? Answer me now, no delay.
Oh, the delay is the worst.
I know, the delay's terrible. Just, Hey, Paul. Yes, Sam's okay. Yeah, he is. Okay, how's this for volume? I think I just asked that. I'm an idiot.
Christina
Better.
says better.
Much better. Okay, so I scooched the microphone a little bit closer to where I'm sitting, but still far enough off to the side that I shouldn't have to move it constantly. It's something that, watching back on some of my shows, I'm like, why did I have the microphone sitting? I thought I needed to have it sitting like right here, and then every time I played, I'd have to pause, move the microphone, and then move it back when I'm done, and it's like, it's so much easier just to have it in one spot. So, since you couldn't hear me before, here we go again. Welcome. Glad you guys are with me tonight. We are running the show off of my computer that you can't see behind me here. I have recently rebuilt this system into one that is capable of running OBS, and the ultimate goal was to get to a point where this camera that you're seeing me on works again. For some reason, it just quit working on Amanda's computer. We don't know why, but it's always worked just fine on a system down here. I think it had something to do with cord length. So anyhow, that was one of the goals, and then the other goal was to have consistently better audio quality. Sometimes when we ran the setup through Amanda's computer, I think again due to cord length, the audio quality would just be unavoidably terrible, and we don't know why it was doing that. It was random, and so that we had a couple of things we're trying to solve. So Amanda's currently sitting over. There we go. There. I think I would have learned the first time. Over there in the dining room at the digital piano, which has the mirror image monitor of the one that I'm looking at here. And she is going to be running the show on OBS. We're working on the same computer, which means when I'm playing, she can't be doing anything. So depending on how much you guys heard, there may be a bit of a hiccup in terms of applause and things like that, because we're gonna have to make sure we switch off and we're not both trying to do stuff at the same time on the computer. So that's where we're at this wonderful Tuesday night. That was probably a lot more stuff than anybody actually cared about. See, that always occurs to me after I say things. Hey, Paul's first. Wow. That's because he's in Texas. That's why. 2 hours ahead of everybody. So, hey, Paul. Hey, Angelica and Christina. And hey, Kelsey. Diana. Hello, hello. Dari, of course. Let's see. Who else is here? Kelsey, Christina, Dari, all talking to each other for a little while. Okay, skimming. Hey, Hunter. Hey, Hunter. I'm not talking over here. Hey, Amanda. Glad you could, join us tonight. I almost blocked somebody. Went to the Hunter School of Chat.
Don't block anybody.
Let's see. Hey, Mom and Dad. And Kathy B, hello, hello. Dave Hill, good evening, sir. Is there any other names in here? I think I'm getting down to it. Oh, hey, Don. Banter. Hey, Matt King, hello. How you doing? Yeah. Yes, Amanda almost blocked Ari once. That was kind of funny. Hunter actually did. Well, no, Hunter didn't block me. He put me in timeout inadvertently. He meant to do it for a couple seconds. It was like 5 minutes or something. Anywho, all right. So tonight is another substitute program. I will get to the one that I've been wanting to do for a while now. I will get to that at some point here. I need to practice the pieces more. Tonight it's a little bit of a hodgepodge, but we're starting off with some pieces by some female composers. So I haven't done female composer pieces in a while, and I'm going to pull up a list here. So I think what I'm going to start off with, a couple of these pieces, let's see, it might even be like the first 3. Oh, that's weird. That should be over here. There we are. Yeah, I think the first 3 are ones that I've actually just recently discovered and really enjoyed. So I wanted to share with you all. So this first one is by a French composer by the name of Mel or Melanie. That's her full name, Mel Bonis, Bonis, and this is. I'm not going to try and pronounce the French. It's Song of Autumn, Pieces of Autumn. I'm not sure exactly what the translation, literally turns to, but autumn song, something like that is what it's called, and it's Opus 19. It is in A flat major. So Amanda, go ahead and do whatever you're going to do, and then tell me when I can take over. And
Okay. Applause and
All right, I guess we could just, yeah, we can leave it on this camera.
Oh, that's fine.
Hey, hope you guys like that. I know I just discovered that a few days ago, and I was like, hey, this is a really nice little piece. Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not going to try and keep up with what was going on in the chat while I was playing, because I'd have to scroll back and read through the whole thing, and you guys aren't here to watch me read a chat. It'd be an interesting show. Just sit there and read the chat the whole time. Anyway, next up, we've got I've selected a piece by Clara Schumann, who is the wife of the unfortunately more famous Robert Schumann. Not that there's anything wrong with Robert Schumann and his compositions. For the most part, there's not. I just say unfortunately because I think Clara Schumann deserves every bit as much fame as her husband had, and she's not as well recognized today. Now, this piece was written in 1853, and that was actually, that's an interesting thought. This was written right around the time, not long after Robert Schumann died. He passed away, I believe, in 1851 or 2, somewhere in that neighborhood. So this would have been written, yeah, not long. Let's confirm that, actually. When did Robert Schumann kick the proverbial bucket? Let's see, Robert Schumann. Yeah, we'll find it. 1856. Okay, so it was written a few years before he died. But by this point, his health had precipitously declined. I don't think anybody's really completely sure what all was wrong with him, but he ended up voluntarily going into a sanatorium. He had a lot of problems, health problems and mental issues, and his decline was fairly quick. So I believe by this point he was in a sanatorium. He was only there for a few years before he passed away. So anyway, interesting bit of context to know what was going on in the life of the composer at the time this was written. It's kind of an odd little piece in terms of form and structure. It's one that, you know, I started playing it and I was like, what is going on with this? I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. It should be an interesting experience. And this was not a piece that was published during her lifetime. It is, you know, in the catalog of her works, it's been given the designation without Opus 28, meaning there's just a whole bunch of pieces that collectively didn't have opus numbers, so they called them without opus and then stuck a number on it. I don't know. My guess would be that they're numbered chronologically. I don't know that for sure. I know a similar thing was done with a lot of Beethoven's pieces. You know, there's a lot of these composers dash stuff off all the time. You know, short little ditties, stuff that was not really publication material, nothing they were going to make money off of. You know, things that were discovered after they died. Maybe they were just short little pieces that they dashed off and gave to a friend. It was never published during their lifetime. So this without opus designation, it sounds kind of odd, but it's actually a fairly common thing, especially during the first half of the 19th century for composers during that time. That was in the absence of somebody like Humphrey Cyril, who came along. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name or not, but he cataloged all of Franz Liszt's piano pieces, or all of his compositions, not just the piano stuff. And so all of Liszt's pieces have an S number, a serial number, catalog number. And you know, Bach, similarly, BWV numbers, catalog numbers. So in the absence of catalog numbers, you get this without opus thing. So that's the way too long story about what's going on with that, and we'll kick it back over to Amanda to do what she does, not to does what she do. And I'm just going to stop talking now. Okay, apparently there is an issue, and pretty darn sure OBS is just being dumb with the applause button. Oops, I'm talking to this camera. Yeah, Amanda was showing me before the show. She said, "Okay, if you need to do this and this, here's how to do stuff." And I'm seeing her trying to do what she was telling me how to do, and OBS is just not cooperating. I don't know why. The joys. Let's see. Okay. All right, man. I got a monologue. I mean, I don't have to. I'm not a villain after all. My enunciation's terrible, so I can never be a supervillain, which is good. All right. Let's see. So I don't know if anybody has noticed. My guess would be probably not. Just yesterday, this piano got tuned for the first time in slightly over a year. A lot of the notes were had still kind of held up. Although when I told that to the piano tuner, he's like, But according to what my iPad said, I've got one of those tuning programs on it where you hit a note and it tells you what it is, and it gives you the exact hertz value and shows you how far off it might be or if it's right on. And most of the notes were mostly right on. But there were a few that was just like, ugh. So it's really nice having all that fixed. And one thing that was driving me absolutely nuts, and I don't know how audible it was on previous shows, but the sustain pedal, the one I hit almost all the time, which lifts all the dampers up so that way the notes, the strings keep vibrating if I'm not holding the key down, had gotten very squeaky. And so the tuner was able to fix that too, in addition to fixing something where he had to take like the entire keyboard assembly out of the piano and reach in there and glue something back together that had fallen apart while he was tuning it. Similar issue to something he came out and fixed a number of months ago. Yeah, different key this time that had the problem. So the age of the piano, it's probably something that's going to happen again on some of the other keys. And it's just, I have to deal with it when it happens. So anyhow, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Oops, there we go. So what else do I have up my sleeve tonight? So now this one, okay, so this next one is a piece by Cécile Chaminade. I've played some of her stuff on my show before. This is Berceuse du Petit Soldat Blessé, I believe is how it's pronounced. Amanda can correct me if I'm horribly off. I believe it means lullaby for a small blessed soldier, something like that. I don't know what soldat means. I'm assuming it means soldier. I think I've seen it used that way before.
Yeah, that's right.
That is right. Okay. Lullaby for small blessed soldier. Don't know the story behind this, where this came from, but I was playing through it the other day, and this is a really pretty piece, and it helps get more female composers' work performed. So that'll be up next momentarily. I didn't like where the microphone was sitting in the shot, so I guess I'll be moving it. God, I hate it when that happens. Pulling my hands off the keyboard and my finger goes dink. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Oh, Wounded Toy Soldier. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huh. Blessé. Sounds like blessed. Interesting. Can you hear that applause? Well, I didn't hear anything. I don't know if that means anything or not, but I did not hear anything. Oh, good. Yes, people can hear it. Cool.
Yeah, it's like we can't hear it at all, but they're like, it's so loud.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, the applause is emphatic, as it should be. You guys can still hear me okay, right? I moved the mic kind of back to actually where it was at the start of the show. So if you can't hear me, let me know and I will shout in the general direction. Or not. I don't know what I'm saying half the time I'm on these shows. Although today I would chalk it up to the lovely smell of pine sol that's pervaded the house all day. Lily's been having one of her days. Love her dearly, but good God, can that dog go to the bathroom? Oh my word. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Okay, good. Thank you, Dari. Yeah, so you can thank your father. Oh, for the translation. I was like, thank my dad for what? I mean, plenty of things, but in the context of this show. All right. I'm blabbing again. I do that. Oh, yeah. So I was talking to my parents earlier today, and I forgot to tell you, I'm very excited with this project I'm working on. So for those of you who... Actually, I don't know if anybody knows me well enough. I've been a computer gamer since... It's like, I feel like everything in my life that I enjoy started when I was about 10 years old. Although I think computer gaming started when I was a little bit younger than 10, maybe 8 or 9. I don't remember exactly. So for some inexplicable reason, my parents let me have unfettered access to the computer on which to play games, but they wouldn't let me have a console system. So I never had a Nintendo or a Sega growing up. It felt very much to my detriment. But they let me have at it with the computers, and so I blame them for my love of building computers and just diving in under the hood and all that. But so something I've wanted for a long time, childhood nostalgia and being what it is and everything, is a computer system that I could use to play some of the games that I played when I was a kid. I still love them. A lot of the old Sierra computer games, if any of you are old enough to... Well, plenty of you are old enough to remember those, but whether or not you actually played them, I don't know. But in particular, the King's Quest series, Space Quest series, and the Quest for Glory series were my three favorites out of their oeuvre. And there is this wonderful program out there called DOSBox, which is an emulator. It essentially acts as a bridge between a program that was designed to run under the old MS-DOS operating system decades ago and a modern Windows, or probably Mac too. I'm sure it exists for Macintosh as well. But a modern operating system, modern computer. Because these old games were written for hardware that basically doesn't exist anymore. And what we have now didn't exist back then. So when a game says, I need to use the sound card in the computer, of course on a modern system it's not going to work. It wasn't programmed for that. So the emulator acts as a bridge between the two, and it takes the request from the game and says, okay, here's the thing on the modern computer that equates that, so you can run these games on a modern system. But I've wanted a standalone system to play these games, one that will basically never change. It'll always be offline, it'll be static, and it will be a reliable way I can play those games. So as time goes on, if the DOS emulation ever just doesn't work in Windows anymore, I won't have to worry about suddenly not being able to play all my old games. And I also have a penchant for building computer cases. Witness, some of you have seen the nightstand table that I've got back here that I built a computer into, so I'd have a semi-nice looking piece of furniture in the living room, but it would have the computer in it. So I've built a number of cases, which I think a lot of you have probably seen. Amanda's got this big 3-foot-tall TARDIS model from Doctor Who that's her computer case. I've got a big giant sandcrawler that I built for myself for my computer. And then our streaming computer that we use downstairs, I built it to look like a Harry Potter luggage cart from King's Cross Station. That was a really fun fun little build. There's a couple of fake suitcases, like little miniature wooden suitcases that I got on Amazon, and one of which holds the power supply for the computer, and the other one holds the computer itself. It has the lights in it and all sorts of fun stuff. So for this Sierra Games computer, I've had the parts for a long time. They've just been sitting in a box for years. And I've wanted to build a case, but build it to look like one of the old Sierra game boxes. And I finally got my act together a couple weeks ago and started putting this plywood box together. What I decided to do, my original idea had been just to make a plywood box and then have a print shop print like a cardboard sleeve that would fit over it like the old games. But then I thought, well, I'm gonna have to cut holes in this thing for fans, airflow, for the plugs for the computer. So I didn't really want to do a sleeve because it would wind up with so many holes in it. That's like, what's the point in having the artwork on there? So what I decided to do was model it after one of the game boxes where the artwork made it look like basically like a stone wall or castle wall with a big stained glass window in it on the front. And so I've made the plywood box that is fully assembled and together. There's a front panel that pops off. It's held on with magnets. And I cut a big hole in it, arched window opening, put a piece of cardboard in there to recess the window opening, and I've got lights in there. I'm having the print shop print the graphic that's going to be the window, and then the lights will illuminate it from behind. And then to skin the outside of the case, rather than a cardboard sleeve, I'm going to use we have leftover styrofoam in the garage from a set building project Amanda did a couple of years ago, where styrofoam can work, if you paint it right and you carve it right, it can work really well as a stone wall substitute. So you can carve line or grooves in it to simulate seams between stone blocks. You can rough up the surface, give it a stony appearance, and then the rest of it is in the paint job. So I'm going to use some of this extra styrofoam to skin this box and make it look like that stone wall with the stone window frame. And I'll have to have it. Hopefully, it should be done the next time I do my show in a couple of weeks. So I'll show y'all. I've been very excited about this little project. And what the really cool thing about it is, I think by the time all is said and done, I will have spent about $50 on it. 40 of that, or almost 40 of that, is a little miniature Persian rug that came all the way from an Etsy seller in Turkey. And it is an actual little rug. I mean, it's sold and marketed as a mouse pad. It's a little bigger than a normal mouse pad, but it's just gorgeous. Because the game box has a Persian style, very stylized, but a Persian type rug at the top, kind of draped over this wall, and the title of the game and everything is printed on it. So I will have an actual rug draped over the top of this box. And then the other 10 or 12 bucks is the graphic that I'm having the shop print out. But literally everything else, the plywood box, the styrofoam, all the computer parts, all the software, everything is stuff I've had sitting around for years and is left over from other projects, other computers that have long since been taken apart. So I'm just totally stoked that I'm able to reuse all this stuff. So anyway, that's the kind of stuff I get really excited about periodically. That's been a fun little project. All right. Now that I bored you all to tears with that, next up, this is a very short piece by none other than Franz Liszt. This is probably the easiest piece he ever wrote. I don't know why he had a tendency to write pieces and then just endlessly revise them. For instance, his famous Transcendental Etudes, a set of 12 unbelievably impossible piano pieces, went through 3 versions, the first of which he wrote all 12 when he was, I think, like 11 or 12 years old. And they're difficult enough. A lot of people have trouble with them, even at that stage. And then 2 more times throughout his life, he went back and revised them. So I think the best known versions are the final revisions of them. So with this particular piece, I don't know why he didn't go back and make it impossible to play. But I don't know. Maybe he forgot about it. Maybe he didn't need to. It's very pretty on its own the way it's written. It is entitled Amanda, how would you pronounce it? La cloche sonna?
I can't see the whole title, but that's
Oh.
close.
Here,
I
there's.
don't speak French.
You don't speak French, but you're better at it than I am.
Okay, it's la cloche.
La cloche
And probably son.
sonne. La cloche sonne. The tolling
Like
bell,
the-
I believe.
There's
Is
the kind of sound at the end.
sonne.
Okay.
A little bit of an at the end
A
there.
little bit.
Anyway, the tolling bell, I believe, is what it translates to. We'll leave it at that. And yeah, I hope nobody who speaks no French people see this. Because yeah. Anyway, stopping talking again. Oh, I can hear the applause. It was really, really, really quiet, but I can hear it. Interesting. I don't know why it's. Hey, it's me again. I don't know why it's loud enough for you guys, but we can barely hear it on our headphones here. It's very odd. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's one of the shortest pieces List ever wrote, and certainly one of the easiest by a long shot. And it was one I kind of ran across as I was looking for stuff for tonight, and I thought, why not? It's short, it's pretty. We'll toss that in. I don't know when else I'd perform it. Sorry, bug. Now this next one is one that everybody will recognize. It needs no introduction, so I won't give it one. It'll be a little bit of a surprise, but I know, especially Paul, if you are still watching, I know this is one you like. Yeah, I know that is that. No, that's one of Amanda's favorite pieces, and yes, Gymnopédie. I don't know, Amanda, offhand which one would be your favorite. There's three of them. They're actually all very similar pieces of music. They are different, obviously. And apparently Eric Satie, funny story about that. Eric Satie was interested in a young lady at one point, and he was a very odd guy. And he didn't think that her father would approve of his career as a composer and musician. And so when he asked Satie, when the father asked Satie what he did for a living, Satie promptly declared he was a gymnopedist. Probably confused the hell out of the guy because, of course, it's a completely made-up word, even in French. Yeah, and so Satie proceeded to write these gymnopédies, these three fairly short little pieces. Very pretty, very strange. he was an interesting guy. And I see we have Amanda's playing around with the screen here, which I know you guys can't see, but I can. I thought we have a couple of Venmos. Oh, nope. She's telling me to shut up. Okay. Oh, just one. Okay. Oh, I get what's going on. She's pulling up a probably a screenshot from an earlier show. So, so thank you to Mr. Jeremy Kwok. Awesomeness. Thank you so much. Appreciate it so much, and I'm really glad you're enjoying it. This is honestly this is so much fun to spend Tuesday evenings with you guys every couple of weeks. Gives me enough time to have a week off and then panic about what I'm going to do, and then the usual. But you've really helped me get over what is it, year and a half ish of me performing stuff on Vaudacity has really helped me get over the nerves. I'm not nervous anymore playing, at least in front of this crowd, which is enormous progress. I mean, I used to literally be shaking from the amount of adrenaline that was coursing through me whenever I had to perform. That's the reason why I always hated performing. That never extended to choral music, oddly enough. I was always totally comfortable on stage, in front of huge audiences, hundreds of people at a time, and completely fine with that. Probably because I wasn't a soloist, would be my guess. But never bothered me. For some reason, the piano performance was usually how it went. All right, let's see. Moving along, so that was Debussy. I've actually never. So that piece, Clair de Lune by Claude Debussy. You guys may or may not be aware that it's out of a larger collection or set of pieces called Suite Bergamesque for the piano, and it's, I believe, overall it's modeled after Baroque era suites. So think like Johann Sebastian Bach, what's his name? Telemann, Georg Telemann, George Handel. Lots of Baroque composers would write these suites, and they had their origination in collections of dance tunes, jigs, minuets. No, they didn't tend to have waltzes in them. Sarabands. So they'd often have a prelude as the first piece, and then in the case of Debussy, usually there's a prelude, there's a minuet. Clair de Lune is the third piece in the set. Passepied, I think is how the fourth one is pronounced. Passepied is another dance, or had its originations in a dance form. And so that rounds out the set of four. Bach wrote suites that were much longer, to have multiple minuets, multiple jigs, and so forth, but you get the idea. So here you have this composer who was alive in the latter half of the 19th century, 1862 to 1918, as the years in which he lived, but still modeling this collection of pieces after stuff that preceded him by 150, 200 years. So kind of cool. All right. Got fancy. I think I saw something. Oh, Hunter wants to know if I'm going to play Sati. You know what, Hunter? You know what, my friend? If I can. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, you know what? Why not? What, Amanda?
I was like, ooh, I'll change the text. I was like, you don't have Photoshop. I can't be that
Oh,
fancy.
yeah. She
It's
can't be
okay, I'll
that.
put a makeshift one.
She can't be that fancy. Yeah, so Amanda, when she's on her computer, she'll use Photoshop and she can just kind of do this text stuff on the fly in Photoshop and then save it as an image, drop it into OBS. This computer, while it's perfectly capable of running Photoshop and we could install it on here, I haven't thought to do that at this point. Our copy of Photoshop is one that we can have it installed on as many computers as we want, but we can only be signed in on 2 at a time. So we could totally do it. It's just one of those things I haven't gotten to yet. So you want to hear the Sati, do you? Let's see. Oh, that's right. So I can't find anything. Sorry, I've got to minimize all this stuff. Back here. I used to have, back before I switched over to Windows 11, Windows 10 and prior had this really cool little feature where you could take a folder of shortcuts and tell it to make a taskbar, the start menu, quote unquote, the thing at the bottom of the screen. You could tell it to make a taskbar menu out of it such that you go down to the taskbar and you click a little button and it pops up your folder of shortcuts. Windows 11, unfortunately and inexplicably, got rid of that feature, which drives me nuts because I really used it all the time and I very much miss it. So, Gymnopédies, all 3 of them. What the hell? Let's play them all. Oops. That'll be up next.
Give me a sec to get some.
Oh, Amanda's
It
doing.
won't be fancy, but
Oh, she's doing apparently some text. It won't be fancy, she
not
says.
fancy like the other one.
Not fancy like the other ones, but you guys can probably hear her. Actually, this mic picks up stuff from 3 miles away.
You can pick me up humming when I'm.
Yeah, and you can probably hear it's picking up the fan noise from the computer. So let me tell you, I don't remember if I said in one of my previous shows what I did to try and quiet the fan noise in this computer, which has worked, except for this stupid microphone. I actually have felt lining the inside of this computer to help dampen any echoing noise that the fans might be creating. And like I said, sitting here at the piano, earphones out, I can barely hear it. It's just unfortunate that these microphones oftentimes are designed to pick up sound like that and really over amplify them. If you've ever been on a cell phone call with anybody and they start crinkling plastic wrappers or paper or something in the background, I mean, it just blows up in your ears because for whatever cell phone microphones are really good at picking up those frequencies of sound and running with them. Like they've got the Pamplonan bulls after them. So, yeah, I wish this one wasn't so good at picking up sound. Maybe if I upgrade the vocal mic at some point, use one more like Amanda's got, then that'll probably be better. But for now, here we are. All right, so she's put the text together. She's placing the text. Looks
Let me see if I
good.
can do one other thing with it. If not, it's okay.
Can you change it, say, Gymnopédies 1 through 3?
Yeah.
So I'll play all 3. I don't know which one's Amanda's favorite, so I want to make sure I play her favorite one. Oh, Jeremy doesn't hear the fam. Well, it's because my family, Jeremy, is in Petaluma, so you'd be pretty hard pressed to hear them since they're, not here.
It doesn't want me to be able to.
Oh yeah, so Amanda mentioned studio mode. So studio mode is this cool thing where what we see on the screen here is duplicate images of me. I mean, whatever the camera's showing, it's duplicated that screen, that picture on the screen. So it lets her work on one side, placing text, resizing the camera view, whatever she needs to do. She can mess around with it, get it looking right, and then make it go live, and then everybody can see it. Put an S, S on the end of Gymnopédies.
Oh, because you're doing 3.
Yeah.
Oop.
That's it. There you go. So anyway, so that's what she's doing right now. She's doing the text. That looks good.
Okay, I'll leave it like that. I wanted it to be colored, but it's okay.
Oh, she wanted
Let's
it to be
keep it
colored.
white.
Okay, it's going to be white. White is a color. White is all the colors when we're talking about white.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Yeah. There you go. So now, oops, she's not done yet. Sorry.
Oh, I got it.
I picked up the remote and started waving it around. I realized she's
Do you
done.
want me to change your camera?
Yes, please. And something else you might notice too is that the camera is most likely not going to shut off. And again, cord length, it's on a normal length cord hooked up to this computer. That was another incentive for switching over to the computer down here. So, you ready?
I'm just going to set some applause.
Okay. Also, disclaimer, I've not played these pieces in forever, so we'll see how this goes. I just saw Amanda's joke in the chat. Bravo, bravo, bravo.
Hey, it was good.
That was a good one.
Really good.
Did
I
you
was
see
like,
yourself out?
ooh. I was like, I have to laugh at my own jokes silently.
I know that this show has had a paucity of puns. I apologize for that. I don't know. Some nights I got them, some nights I just don't.
Oh, that's okay. I just made the best pun of the night.
She did just make the best pun of the night. That was pretty good. Oh goodness. So yeah. So there's the three Gymnopédies by Eric Satie. So
Did you see Hunter's lead up to the joke?
no, I didn't.
That's why.
Wait, what joke? Oh, to your
my
joke.
WC joke.
No, I did not, because that was happening while I was playing, and while Lucy was noisily going upstairs for who knows why.
Hey, you.
You can all hear her bouncing around and hear her jingle, jingle, jingle. Oh goodness. So Amanda, I think I'm going to skip the Beethoven tonight.
Okay.
And so let's see. Do you need to do any practicing tonight, Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think then we'll do that. I'm going to do one more for you guys. Tell you what, do a short little improv because I haven't done. Which camera am I on anyway? I don't
Oh,
even
I
know.
don't know. That's a good question.
I'm on this one. Okay, that's fine. We can leave it there.
You sure?
Yeah. Do a short little improv, and then I've got one more piece. I keep looking at that one. I've got one more piece
Can
by
you do me one favor when you do this?
Schubert. Yes.
Put the mouse that you use down because you move it around, and I'm afraid I'm gonna click something wrong.
When I what? Oh! Sorry. The joys of two of us using the computer at the same time. I'm sitting here with the remote, blah 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 blah, talking with my hands like I always do, and the mouse cursor's going all over the screen. She's trying to do something, and the cursor goes whizzes across the screen. Oh goodness! All right, so yeah, I will. So, what was the lead up to your joke? Since I can look at it later.
Yeah.
Everybody
Hunter
else saw
just
it.
said that he said, "Did I ever tell you about the time that I was dating a girl, and he didn't want to say that he was a musician, so he said he was a satirist."
Is that satirical? It's hysterical, whatever else it is.
Yes.
All right.
Like sadist, you know.
Sadist?
Like sadist, but sati, you know. Get it? I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Actually, you didn't seem to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, although I could be misunderstood.
All right. Well, let's do an improv. I've got no idea what's about to come out, which makes it so much fun.
At least one more super chat that's come in.
Okay. Well, you
I can
can
do it after.
you can do it during because I'm not going to need to look at the computer.
Is that gonna distract you?
Maybe, but we'll see. Why not? It's live. It's Vaudacity. We can do this. Here we go. How audible are the mouse clicks?
Oh, I don't know. I can hear them, so.
Even with Oh, because you have the mouse right there. Duh. Well, whatever. We'll see. We even had that improvisation title thing ready to go. It was planned. Of course, what I was playing wasn't planned. Just the fact that I was going to do that was planned. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was, Did I really say no one would like my stuff for video games? That doesn't sound like anything I would ever say. Yeah, that was fun. Don't know where that came from. All right, I'm picking up the remote again when I shouldn't be. All right, so we want to run some promos. Promos. Because we have a few promos loaded, ready to go. In a few minutes. Oh, sorry, it's on the screen right in front of me. I think I looked at the camera right as it came on the screen. All right, so tomorrow night, Amanda on Demand, Songs of Summer, Summer Nights. Good thing it's on the screen. Otherwise, some of you might think it's the guy in the suit of armor running around in the hot sun. Anyway, Summer Nights. Tomorrow night, 7:30. She's got Paul Carganella on the show. Amanda, what song is he doing? Do we know? Or are we saying? Oh, it's a surprise. Okay. I have no idea what he's doing, so I actually can't spoil the surprise for once because I haven't got a clue. So if you have any requests, any last minute requests that you want Amanda to try and learn before tomorrow night, if she doesn't know it already, send it to amandasings.live. We'll see you tomorrow night in the chat. And then on Thursday, Lovecast number 11 with Hunter Ackerman. This is just a fantastic show, and especially Hunter, I know you like running the show at 6 p.m. I'm really glad you run it at 8 p.m. at least over the summer. It's a really nice time, nice way to kind of kick back and relax for the evening and just listen to some great tunes, great covers. I love it when you play your original stuff. It's always a fun show, so be there on Thursday night, 8 p.m. for the summer. And next up, we have Dancing with Dari a week from tonight at 6:30 p.m. I don't know if she can put in the chat if she has a particular theme or something in mind. I don't know offhand, but she always has a great show and gets you moving, gets you bouncing around. Hopefully not too emphatically because then you might knock a lamp over or something, so don't do that. I've never done that. All right, any other promos, or is that was all of them? Okay. All right, so her theme is Zumba. Yeah. Dari, you should do a show, get one of them little automatic robotic vacuum cleaners and do Zumba on a Roomba. Or if you did some different style of dancing, you could do Rumba Roomba. Rumba Zumba Roomba? No? Okay. All right. Oh, looks like we have another, what passes for super chats these days, Venmo, I think. And Amanda's setting that up.
There's 2.
Oh, there's 2. Oh, wonderful. Okay, we are in a holding pattern. We are making like an airliner over an airport. Just like that. That's what they do. Or could be a waiter wandering around tables and holding stuff, holding pattern. Okay, hey, there it is. Oh, from Barbara Boardman, another beautiful evening piano. Thank you so much. Appreciate it greatly. And like I said, it's just so much fun to share everything with you guys. Oh, okay. And next one, thank you so much, Susan. Banana Man 614. I know, it's hard to believe it's the middle of June already. I'm like, where does time go other than in my pasta? But I got a sound effect for that.
I'm just not loud right now. Here, instead, it's
Oh, no,
not
it's
going to be loud.
That, well, it sounded pretty anemic on my end. Hopefully the volume was better for the audience. On my end, it sounded like a rubber chicken about 3 houses over. And a rubber chicken with a hole in it. I might add. There we go. That sounded like a distant late night drum set.
The first one was for me missing it.
Oh gosh. All right. So last up for the evening. This is a piece of music that I absolutely adore. If you've never heard the original orchestral version of it, I highly recommend listening to it. So the story behind this piece of music, this was one that was not even discovered. I'm not sure anybody knew about it prior to sometime after the death of the composer. This is by Franz Schubert, and the story, at least that I've heard, I don't know how much truth there is to it. So I'll just put that out there before I expound upon it. Is that he was writing it for a girl he was in love with, as one does when you're in your 20s and virile and young and all that. And this Schubert died when he was like 31, so unfortunately he never became an old man. So anyhow, he wrote it for a girl he liked and rolled it up and stuffed it in a drawer when he found out she had just married somebody else. This is his now famous, unknown in his lifetime, unfortunately, his now famous unfinished symphony, so named because symphonies at that time typically had 4 movements. So to the layman's ear today, the untrained ear, they would sound like 4 different pieces of music all kind of stuck together. But typically they would have either maybe some thematic elements in common, something kind of tying the different movements together. If you listen to Beethoven's Fifth, is a masterpiece at tying all the movements together, because what does it is the bum 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 bum. That rhythmic pattern is in all 4 movements, and you can hear, if you're listening for it, you can hear it quite clearly through all 4 of them, and it's incredible how it ties them together. So typically the symphony's 4 movements. In this case, Schubert, it's called unfinished because it's only 2 complete movements. Apparently he had gotten a few measures, line or 2 into a 3rd movement when he abandoned the work. And I say that I don't know how much truth there is behind that story, because Schubert abandoned a lot of pieces. I mean, he wrote well over 1,000 pieces of music. He's got a lot of unfinished stuff. His 7th symphony, what is now today known as his 7th symphony, was really, really unfinished. I mean, it was sketch form. It was, it might have looked kind of like a piano score with like 2 lines of 2 staves, 2 staff lines of music per line. Wasn't anything you could really play on a piano. He did not orchestrate it. He did not flesh out. Yes, he might have like these 2 notes when really it should have been, a chord like that, or something like that. So he really, he had written the barest outline of all the movements of the 7th Symphony and then abandoned it for whatever reason. So other modern composers have come along and actually fleshed it out and finished it, created a finished piece out of it. Not so with the unfinished symphony. Nobody, as far as I know, has ever finished the 3rd movement or written a 4th movement for it, for the simple reason that, at least in my humble opinion, it doesn't need it. These 2 movements together are phenomenal, incredible. They stand on their own. They balance each other out so perfectly that it doesn't need anything else. So this is Schubert's famous unfinished symphony in B minor. I'm going to quit picking up the remote and waving it around so Amanda can do her stuff, and off we go. And just as a side comment, I've always felt that the opening of this piece of music sounds a lot like parts of Swan Lake by Tchaikovsky. I don't really think that there's any particular connection there. I think maybe some of the similarities that they're both B minor, key of B minor. Don't know, but I don't know. It's just something that's always kind of stuck out to me. All right, since Amanda had to go tend to the dogs, I guess, I don't know, they're getting feisty or playful or something.
Yeah, Lucy wants to play.
Oh, Lucy wants to play. Well, here we go. I mean, that's all I got for tonight, so Lucy can play her little heart out. Unfortunately, though, there's a very good chance that by the time I get out there and say, okay, let's play, she's going to be like, what?
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, her playful moods last, what, 5 minutes or so? No, she's still playful. Lucy, come here. Come here. Lucy, come touch. Come here. Come here. Let's go. Let's say hi. Come here. Oh, we got Lily. Okay. Run, dog. Here's Lily. Nope, who's coughing? It's
She
Lily.
just drank water.
Oh, she just drank water. Yeah, she does this every time she drinks water. Literally every single time. She coughs for a minute.
And Lucy's jealous.
Oh, Lucy's very jealous. Oh, she Lily. Say hi, Lily.
Oh, that's a cute picture.
Lily gets lots of kisses. All right, down you go. Come here, Lucy. Whoa, come here. All right, Lucy's turn. Yeah. Here's my Lucy. Whoa. She looks slightly insane. There we go. Lucy, look at the camera. Come on. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Look at the camera. Here we go. Good girl. Okay, we said hi. All right. Off we go. Now Lily, cut it out.
Oh my goodness.
These dogs. We love having two dogs. They are in the mood. Well, it's because they haven't done anything all day.
Yeah, they didn't even walk.
We found out, that was like a week ago or so. We took Lily to the vet because she was kind of limping and picking up one of her back legs and walking on 3 legs. And so we thought she was hurt. Turns out she's not really hurt. She has exceptionally loose kneecaps. Apparently that is a thing with small dogs. We're just lucky that Lucy doesn't have that issue. And when the kneecap slips out of place, they can't extend or bend their leg as well as normal. So they kind of flop around. It's a little sad. So yeah, both legs have this issue. She's on glucosamine now, and we're hoping that.
She didn't get hers tonight.
Oh, she needs that then. We're hoping that in another week or two, maybe that'll start showing some results. She's already walking a bit better than it was very, very sudden. I think she was racing around outside and threw her leg out basically. So she's doing better, but we're carrying her up and down the stairs and not letting her jump the way she wants to jump, and so she hasn't done a whole lot today. So anyhow, she may need glucosamine. Yes, Diana. Yes, we have her on that. And basically, what the vet told us, the only other option would be surgery, which may or may not work. And I think we would only do that if she gets to a point where, like, chronically, consistently, she just can't walk very well. Then we might consider that. But in the meantime, we're doing what we can and limiting her mobility a bit, which she doesn't really like. But what are you gonna do? So that's all the show I've got for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you guys in the chat tomorrow night and Thursday night for Amanda's show and Hunter's show, and the next week for Dari's. And I swear, I'm going to put the remote down again. 2 weeks from tonight, I'm going to try my darndest. I want to, that Polly's Picnic that we did, the online variety show that we did, where it was a band that had a number in the name. I did a piece by Cesar Cui, who was a member of the Mighty Five, these 5 Russian composers from the late 19th century, who tried very hard to establish a very Russian school of music, style of music. And so there's been a bunch of pieces by them. Mussorgsky was another one, probably one of the more famous ones out of the group. Mili Balakirev, Modest Mussorgsky, it's 2 of Alexander Borodin, Cesar Cui, and Nikolai Rimsky-Korsakov were the 5. So pieces by them is what I want to do. 2 weeks from now, hopefully I will have everything actually, somewhat practiced and more ready than it was tonight. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Good night.